All right. Without further ado, spawning in the bottom left, in the blue. Give it up for the Protoss. It is Zoun. And in the top right, in the red, the Zerg player known as SERRAL. Alrighty, a PVZ. What a sight to see. I'm curious to see how it goes. Now, Zoun is pretty well versed in the PVZ meta. He likes to go into the Void Rays. He likes to go into the Adept style plays. Doesn't mind doing like 3-gate aggressive plays. So it's going to be interesting to see how it compares against SERRAL. Now, SERRAL going to be going for his expansion, of course, in that third base area, as Zoun was able to kind of block it off for the most part. Now, going to be seeing the pool coming down for SERRAL, and Zoun just being a little bit more and more aggressive as things go on. Now, Gateway almost finished up. We will actually see an expansion coming out here from Zoun. We'll see where he wants to go with this now. He's going to throw down the Cybernetics core, and behind this, still just trying to be aggressive. SERRAL not really paying that much mind to it. I guess really early game you can't do too much. Maybe just try to poke at the bear. But until you can get queens out or even lings, it does feel like sometimes there might be a little bit tougher situation to have to deal with. So, natural going to be finishing up. We do see the drones getting kind of shuffled over here. Of course, Zoun still pushing in with the single probe, just being annoying and, again, scouting. Wants to see what's going on, where he's going. It's going to be an Adept opening for Zoun. See, like, does he actually go into Stargate? Looks like it's going to be a Robo. Interesting. Probe still manages to survive. Looks like the Lings going to start putting pressure onto the ramp and she's just clearing up a pathway. Now it's going to be a Stalker to follow up for Zoun. SERRAL looking in, see if he can scout what the play is here, right? The Stalker might be able to push this away, but I think he will actually see what is going on. He is going to at least see that there is the robotics facility down. Behind it going to be a quick robotics base, so potentially looking to go into disruptors pretty quickly, maybe even go up into Colossus tech. We'll definitely have to wait and see kind of where he wants to go with this. Third base on the way for SERRAL. You actually see the queens finally out and about, which will make it a little bit easier here for SERRAL if Zoun does decide to maybe push across with one of the one of the Adepts or something. Second gateway is through. We do have the Warp Prism on the way. The robotics bay is almost done. Is he gonna go into like oh, he's gonna go into a disruptor drop. Oh, this is intense. Okay, so Warp gate finally done. We do see 2 more gates being added on, which will allow him to eventually kind of transition, but still have capability to the disruptor balls. Behind this, SERRAL is going to be going into layer tech. Just has the links. I imagine maybe going into Bailings behind this. Oh no, he's going to go into a Roach Ward. Okay. I like it. There we go. Disruptor is going to be really good against the Roaches. And especially Queens, too. It's so tough as a Zerg to have to deal with them. And I think he actually got away with this, too. I do not think SERRAL saw this at all. So, he's going to come in with the War Prism. Eventually, we'll drop down the Disruptors. Does take some damage on the shield part, as he kind of disruptors himself, but eventually will pick up. Doesn't really lose anything. And now SERRAL kind of knows, right? He's got 9 Roaches on the way. 4 of them just popped out, 5 still being built. He's got Roach speed on the way. And Zoun behind this, just going to be making some Stalkers. He's got the Colossus. He's got Sentries. Wow, really looking for an attack here. Picks off 4. Barely able to make it out with the Disruptors. And yeah, now looking in for another attack. Zealot's going to be coming in here with the rest of this army. A huge warp in of Stalkers, and SERRAL has to defend against this. There are Ravagers, so going to be able to kind of push back against this. Of course, the Sentries will be able to eventually throw down a few force fields, maybe even use Guardian Shield. Yeah, there it is. Guardian Shield will go down. Will at least blockade some of the pressure coming in here. Disruptor shots looking to get on top of the Roaches. The Lings try to put on some pressure, but now the Guardian Shield's going to go down with the force fields replacing it instead. And now SERRAL just continuously trying to push in here, trying to spread out as best as possible. Does in fact get the cancel and kills off the War Prism, and now SERRAL able to kind of fully start pushing ahead with this. Zoun at 91 supply to 139. And even though he's still trying to at least get something done, this wraparound going to be very deadly. Zoun in some serious trouble. The Colossus trying to get damage done. Not going to be enough. GG's. SERRAL takes game number 1. Alrighty, game number 2. In the top right. In the blue, give it up for the Protoss. It is Zoun. In the bottom left, in the red, give it up for the Zerg player. It is SERRAL. Alrighty, so game number 1 didn't go the best for Zoun. He tried to go for something kind of cheeky with the Disruptor drop. Didn't really pan out for him. Ended up losing the War Prism, as well as SERRAL going into that Roach style play. Just wasn't really good. I feel like if SERRAL would have opened up more into the Ling style play, it would have been a lot better for Zoun in that situation. But we are going to actually see SERRAL not taking a base yet. He's going to go into a pull first. Interesting. He sends the drone out. Like, oh, yeah, I'm taking the 3rd. But he's just going to go back down here. Very nice play. Yeah, it delays it a little bit, but the distance coming through is a lot shorter. So, not bad. Alright, so expansion going to be taken for Zoun. Behind this, we do see SERRAL just building up. And really, we're just going to have to wait and see, you know, does SERRAL go back in to that Roach style play? I don't think we're going to see the Disruptor style like that from Zoun again. Now, he is really good with Disruptor control, but I think just rushing into it made it a little bit worse for him. Especially since he didn't get anything done, you know. Alrighty, Cybernetic score coming down for Zoun. We do have a couple Lings making their way into the natural. Looking for the scout. Just wants to see, you know, what is Zoun doing behind all this. Depp finally makes it. We'll be able to kill off one of the Lings, and then it's going to be Stargate Tech. Now, Zoun does have it in a proxied location. SERRAL not going to be able to scout this out really at all. The big question is going to be, does Zoun go into an Oracle opening? Is he going to go into maybe a Void Ray style opening? Now, Jakanatha, a lot of times we talk about how it's a really big map. You know, obviously it's got the accelerator zones and stuff like that. But we see so much cheese or aggression plays on this map, and I think it's because they feel like that's something that they need to do to be able to kind of like get through this map, especially in like ZVP situations. So it's going to be an Oracle opening for Zoun. We'll see if he goes into just one, or if he's going to switch into maybe a Void Ray. We have been seeing Protoss go into like a 3 Oracle opening, so we may actually see that from Zoun coming in this. Now, Oracle going to be making its way in here. Obviously, the Spore Caller is not done yet. Just will allow him to make a couple of kills. It's 4, 5... No, 4. Almost gets 5. Eventually backs up. Keeps it alive, so that's a very good start. And he does have that second Oracle on the way. Now we'll see if he does go into a third. Doesn't look like it just yet. And we do actually have that Roach Warren coming down for SERRAL. He's got that third base on the way. And overall, not in a bad state. It's going to be a third Oracle though. So, okay. Not bad. This will allow for later on use. He can kind of keep a tag on the army, especially if SERRAL does go into like a heavy Roach Ravager style. So it's going to allow him to keep tabs on it, and if Zoun goes into like a Void Ray, like heavy Stargate style, makes it a little bit easier to find ways to attack into, right? So, layer on the way for SERRAL. And this is getting that extra gas, and I wouldn't mind seeing him going up into Corruptor Tech, or even just like, I guess, Spire Tech in general. Things looking for the... Looking for the proxy, not able to find it, so... Depp's attacking in at the same time. Able to kill off a couple of drones. It's 4 in total. Ends up losing the Adepts, but... Oracles are able to recall out. And behind this, just going to be getting Blink +1. Got that layer almost finished up. And +1 for the Lings. Finally, Lings are able to find the Stargate. And the Oracle's looking to keep putting on some pressure. Gets the tags. Be able to kind of keep an eye on and see, you know, hey, what kind of units are you producing? Are you getting aggressive? Are you going to just be making drones? You know. All of that good stuff. We do got Spire on the way now. Roach is being made for SERRAL. Zoun actually throwing down a few more gates. And even getting the observers, so eventually we will start seeing some pushes coming out here from Zoun. Sees that there's a 4th base down at the bottom. He has his own 3rd base. Eventually, I think, does try to take maybe the 4th base here. Let's see. Additional gateways, we've got robotics base, so it does look like he will start going into disruptors very soon. And we'll be looking into a push. Now, another good scout coming out from Zoun, as SERRAL just building up. He's once again waiting for the Spire to get done, which is down here. It actually gets scattered out, so not bad. Infestation Pit on the way. Failing speed and +1 finishing up. Gonna be making some Ravagers, and yeah, I mean, SERRAL just gonna continue to push everything across. He's gonna continue to, you know, eventually try to push into this, but I don't know. I think SERRAL should be fine. I mean, he's got 60 army supplied to the 39 here of Zoun. Gonna be that very sentry heavy style once again. Let's get a nice little force field off to kind of block this and get some distance, but SERRAL now ready for the pounce, and actually is going to start pushing himself across the map for some damage. Another good force field goes down, loses a sentry though. Looks like SERRAL will go ahead and back up once again, building out the creep, just trying to get everything situated. And it is going to be a Colossus tech coming out here from Zoun. Oracle's not really able to get much done. Again, just keeping tabs on the army. Wants to kind of see what is coming out. It's going to be going up into Hive tech as those Evo chambers are coming down. So I wonder, does he go into just like a greater spire tech here? Doing a good job clearing up the creep. Lings, so trying to clear up a pathway to be able to get right straight through and go straight across. Obviously, Zoun scouting that out will be able to kind of make some preparations. He's got extended thermal lance almost done. SERRAL's still going through in the main, keeping an eye on things.
Depleted.
Yeah, not bad. +2 almost done for the Protoss. We do see that greater spire coming through, so it does look like he's going to be going into that Broodlord kind of corruptor style. Does have the Vipers on the way, which is going to be really nice as well. Be able to start yanking some of those units in, and obviously like Stalkers and Colossus, if they can get some blinding clouds on them, makes it a lot tougher for Zoun to really push into this. And it's a lot of Bailings. He's got quite a few sentries though, so as long as the force fields are good, he might be able to kind of eliminate some of those. Both players just kind of sizing each other up at the moment. Oracle's almost falling at this point. So he is trying to push onto this. Here come the Bailings. Gonna actually get yoinked out with the Colossus. Going straight through the force fields here. Blinking back as best as possible, but unfortunately, it looks like Zoun just not gonna have enough now. He still has those sentry... No, he doesn't have any more sentries, excuse me. He's still got the Oracles. He's still got a handful of Stalkers. The Bailings are having to be remade. There also are those Vipers. Trying to get more energy here, but it is not looking good right now. Blinking back as best as possible. Another yoink with the Colossus. Instantly going down as the Stalkers here from Zoun just trying to get through. Not going to be enough. Going to get completely cleared up here on this Ling Bing tech. And Zoun having returned back home. Got more Stalkers being popped out. He's got the double Robo. He can make more units, but what do you make in this situation? I guess maybe Disruptors would be good, but that's only if he can land the Disruptor shots. So Zoun now at 95 supply to 160. It's very, very tough, and SERRAL's got a big bank as far as it goes for minerals. I'm interested to see kind of if he can do something here. Yeah. Fixed base now on the way. Or SERRAL behind all of this. Ooh, gets the plague put on to the War Prism there. Eventually does go in. Ooh, not a bad Disruptor shot, but not going to be enough. GG's, and SERRAL takes game at number 2. Spawning down here in the bottom left in the blue. Give it up for the Protoss. It is Zoun. Spawning in the top right in the red. Give it up for the Zerg. It is SERRAL. Alrighty, so game number 3. SERRAL's been doing pretty good. I mean, he hasn't really had to get aggressive. A lot of what he's been doing has solely been just counteracting whatever Zoun has done. SERRAL has been playing very defensive and just kind of reactive. Really has been. Zoun has been trying these kind of wonky builds, trying to get aggressive, trying to do these weird things. and it just has not seemed to work out for him. He got a good shot off with his disruptors, but there was just so much Zerg that it was tough to actually overcome. So SERRAL this time, though, going to be taking that third base. You see Zoun just once again just playing the devil's advocate here and trying to minimize as many minerals as possible for SERRAL's consumption. Alrighty, so behind this we do have the gateway coming down for Zoun. He's going to be going into an expansion himself, and we'll be opening up very similar, the same way he has been. We'll see if he goes into that Stargate tech once again, or if we will see him maybe go into, like, wouldn't mind seeing him go into the Adept, like, not all in, but he likes to go into that Claved Adept style pressure. We'll see, though. Alrighty, so spawning pool about done now for SERRAL. He does have that expansion. Eventually going to be taking a third base here. But Zoun just keeping an eye on everything, making sure nothing crazy happens. Keeps an eye on the counts. Just kind of sees, is he making more drones? Is he going to be making some lings behind all this? And it's going to, of course, be those drones. He's got 4 lings on the way. He's got speed as well. Zoun going into the Adept opening. We'll see. Stargate going to be the choice here for Zoun. Something I think he's very comfortable with. And I wouldn't mind seeing him just going into that full Void Ray style and kind of forcing SERRAL to go up in tech. Like, obviously, SERRAL's been opening up into Roaches this whole series, so it does make it a little bit tougher if he wants to go into the Void Ray style. But wouldn't mind seeing him flex that muscle, see how he can do comparatively to SERRAL has been doing. Gonna be second gateway coming down for Zoun. So we do see SERRAL coming in with the all-important Overlord. Gets the scout off and sees that it is going to, in fact, be the Stargate. Got Void Rays on the way for Zoun. Behind this, the third base on the way. Going to be going more Queen heavy since seeing that Stargate. So we do have more Queens on the way. Kind of delaying the extra gas just to get more drones out. I don't mind. Especially getting the third base out as well. So gonna be an Oracle opening behind all of this. We got that Void Ray making its way across. It's gonna say, oh, you don't have Overlord over here. In fact, the Overlord is hitting in the back of the base. I'm gonna go around and eventually try to get into the main base to get some scouting. But third base on the way for Zoun. That Oracle at. There it is. So the Oracle coming out now for Zoun. Roach Warden going to be on the way for SERRAL behind all of this. Zoun trying to get a couple of kills. We'll be able to get 2 drones, but this time loses the Oracle. Not a good start for Zoun at all. And it's going to be very Ling heavy right now. Behind this is second Stargate. And we do have that fleet beacon coming down for Zoun. SERRAL hasn't scouted it yet, but it'll be interesting to note if he does, in fact, scout that out. Or if he will really need to. He does have the Roaches on the way, going up into the layers, so maybe fine. Maybe just give another peek-see and see, kind of where it's wanting to go from there. But it does look like Zoun going to be going into that more standard Stargate style that he's used to. Layer almost finished up. We do have the Void Rays coming up. The Depth's still going to be able to defend pretty well. Has the shield batteries in place just in case, and it's going to be straight up oh my goodness, carriers. So Void Ray coming through, Just kind of giving presence to SERRAL. See from here kind of where he wants to go. The Ling's starting to push across, as well as the Roaches and the Queens. Immaculate shield batteries going down. A couple of photon cannons to help. There we go. Blocking is undone, but now we have Zoun with a few of the carriers. He's only at 2 right now. Or, yeah, he's got 2. He's got more of those Void Rays coming through to eventually start pushing into this once more. SERRAL taking a 4th base and looking to keep up the aggression. He doesn't really have to be, you know, across the map dealing damage. He can just kind of sit back. He's got his Queens. There's not a high number of carriers, so it's not a big threat at the moment for SERRAL. Yeah. Eventually has to back up. We do have the Spire finished up for SERRAL. He's going into Infestation Pit, so eventually going to go up into Hive Tech. 5 carriers on the way, and the Roach is going to be able to get into the natural. The Void Rays are there, so we'll eventually be able to take care of this. So far, 7, 9, 10, 11 probes. Holy cow, going to go down. Fortunately, the carrier's not able to get much done, and there's just too many Queens to count here for SERRAL, so we'll force him to back up. Now, behind this, we do have... really going into? He's going into more gateways. He's got the robotics bay, robotics facility, and I think eventually we'll go into maybe, I don't know, does he go into Archons or just Disruptors behind this? There we go, and the Corruptors are now out. Oh no, a little bit of a mistake there. So we'll end up losing a carrier and a Void Ray. Unfortunately, didn't get it all. Ended up recalled. So kind of unfortunate there. Additional gateways coming down. Blink is coming through. So in a sense has forced SERRAL to go into Corruptors. Now what is he going to do behind this? Going to be Ravagers coming out from SERRAL as he's starting to push in towards his 4th base. And this is something that we talk about time and time again. When you go into this very heavy like Stargate style, your army count is very, very low early on. It's very weak, but if you can get it up and running, it becomes very strong. And so SERRAL trying to hammer on this as he's sending across the Queens in slow succession. Guardian Shield gonna go up to try to help deal with this. Void Ray is in place. Eventually we'll back up. Queens though still have plenty of energy as the Disruptors do come in here, just actually pushing themselves into the middle of the base. A nice Disruptor shot though. Makes it a little bit tougher here for SERRAL. But again, the Queens still have enough transfuses to kind of deal with this. Take care of the carrier interceptors. Blinking forward. Looks like he might be able to actually take care of these Queens. Putting Zoun in a little bit better position. But behind all of this, we see that 5th base coming out now. SERRAL, so he is not worried at all. The Corruptors still just going to kind of roam around and eventually try to take out the carrier and the Void Ray. That is a lot of Corruptors. Like, you gotta be honest here, like, Zoun forced a lot of I keep saying carriers, a lot of Corruptors out from SERRAL, so a lot of the army supply is in that, and right now they're not that useful. Like, he's going up into Hive Tech, which will allow him to eventually go into, you know, Broodlords, and they will become a little bit more valuable then, but for right now, this is just kind of lost supply. He's still got pretty good Roach count though, so it's not that big of a deal. And it does shut down the air potential, right? Now, we see Zoun going into that Disruptor style with the Stalkers. He's got, you know, just the carrier. Not really investing much in more to the air as he realizes it's kind of a lost cause at this point. Greater Spire on the way. Adrenaline gland's going to be researched. Bailing speed's still not done yet. There we go. Trying to be careful. Guardian Shield gonna go down. Gonna force the Roaches back. Carrier does end up falling down, but the Stalker's trying to get on top of it. Will once again start pushing some of the creep back. Yeah, both players just slinging spells at each other at this point. Ooh, does not get a hit with the Disruptor. Void Ray kind of overextending at this point, and see those Corruptors moving on back. Now it's going to be an Ultralisk Cavern coming through. Greater Spire still on its way. We'll see. I mean, I don't mind him going into the Ultralisks at all. Ooh, not a bad hit. Second hit going to come through. We'll kill off a few of the Bailings. Does have enough to really kind of keep SERRAL busy at the moment. Not enough. Unfortunately, the Bailing's going to start trying to get on top of the Disruptors. And yeah, I mean, Jones starting to push into this, but with more Bailings coming through here. +2 finishing up for the Zerg. Yeah, I mean, he might be able to get this bottom base. There's still another base that is made. Across the map, we've got the Corruptors just peeing onto the Nexus. And another attack coming through here. I mean, I guess they're being useful in some way. Forcing these splits coming out from SERRAL. But now with Broodlords in place, it's going to be even tougher. He wants to get on top of the Broodlords, but with the Bailings as a threat, you just cannot. You can't afford it. You just have to back up. Try to take a little bit of a different engagement. Maybe wait for your sentries to get more energy, but again, he doesn't have any more sentries, so makes it tough. Got the Disruptors, but that's about it. SERRAL just continues to expand behind all of this. It's just insane. It does have Tempest on the way. It does look like now SERRAL wants to push in. Of course, he's going to defend this bottom base. Gets the cancel. Zealots, unfortunately, going to have to back up as well. I mean, not bad. I mean, Jones still, like, taking bases, still trying to kind of shut down the economy of SERRAL, but SERRAL's maxed out at this point. He's not too worried. We've got Templar Archives on the way for the Protoss. And then just more Corruptors, Vipers, everything coming into play here. Bailing's trying to get something done. Unfortunately, only gets 7, 8 kills there. Nothing too crazy. +1 on the way now for the Void Ray. I don't know why he's really getting the upgrade there, because I don't think he even really has... Oh, I guess for the Tempest. Okay, that makes sense. SERRAL, though, I feel it's in a pretty comfortable position. Like, he could lose a lot of these links and stuff and then just remax pretty easily. Yeah, not a bad shot. Gonna pick off a few more units. Just have to back up, stay out of range of those Broodlords. Now, another little counterattack coming out here from SERRAL. Going to go down towards the bottom. There are a handful of Zealots, but eventually just get taken care of. The High Templar are going to get taken out as well, and this is going to give opportunity for SERRAL to start pouncing on top of this, and just makes it very, very tough. Zoun trying to hold on as best as he can, but he is suffocating pretty heavily right now on income. SERRAL just has so much money in the bank that he can really remax so much quicker than Zoun can at the moment. Does get a pretty decent hit there, but all of the Stalkers end up falling out. Broodlords are gonna start falling down though. And yeah, just not looking good. Everything's starting to crumble here for Zoun. He still has the disruptors, but they can't shoot up. Stalker's not able to get close enough to the Broodlords to actually take them out. And it does get very, very tough. Yeah. Tempest not able to get anything done. Just more and more Lings. 8 Ultras on the way now for SERRAL. SERRAL already maxed out, so has plenty of supply, while Zoun is just struggling to survive at the moment. And yeah, gonna take out more Nexuses. There we go. Ultras out. Gonna look for a surround. Blinks back. Disruptor shots. Make a connection onto one of the Ultras, but eventually it just gets taken out completely. There we go. Alrighty, blinking back. We do have overcharge activated. Once again, the Baneling's just going to surround, completely destroy it all. And GG is called as SERRAL takes the game. End the series.